guys? Oh, my name's John. This is my first show ever. Don't know what else to say. Maybe I could explain my name a little bit for you. Yes, it is MacBook Flipper. Basically, if you have seen the Mac versus PC rap, you will completely understand why I made this my name. I am a Mac user. I would have made it iBook Flipper, but I don't have an iBook. I have a MacBook Pro, so that wouldn't exactly make sense. If you've seen that, then you'll understand. You can find a link on my profile, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, I'm going to make this first show, which is probably going to be pretty bad, so sorry. I'm going to make it about internet acronyms. I know a lot of you guys out there use them. If you have ever used any instant messenger like AIM or Yahoo or MSN or anything like that, there's many out there. LOL, laugh out loud. Some people think it's lots of love. Definitely not. ROFL, roll on the floor laughing. But I decided I would find an official list of these internet acronyms, and I found one on the AOL Instant Messenger website. They actually have an acronym dictionary. I found some of the usual ones in there. Be right back, BRB, LOL. I also found some ones in there that I've never heard of, and no one else probably has. I'm not sure if it's a joke. Have you ever heard of AAR8? At any rate. I can't say I've ever used that one myself. Sounds like something my mom would use, though, in an email. How about ADAD? ADAD. Another day, another... I have no idea. I wrote it all down on my little handy-dandy notepad thing right here. Got this from Washington Mutual. I have no idea what that one is anyways. It actually has, they actually got the guts to put their own instant messenger in there. They put AIM as a common acronym, one of the commonly used acronyms, AIM, which stands for AOL Instant Messenger. Thanks, didn't know that from the website in the first place. Now, if you don't have the time to write back when you come back to the computer, you can put a B. That means back now. Instead of saying see you later, you can put BCNU. That's pretty obvious. BCNU. Now, this is where it gets good. If you're in a political debate, perhaps, you could use BOTOH. B-O-T-O-H. But on the other hand, now, if you're trying to, present multiple views here. And definitely my favorite that I've found all night would be BTDTGTTSAWIO. That stands for Been There, Done That. Now, that sounds about right so far, right? I've heard that one before. Not necessarily in an acronym, but... And then it gets better. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt and wore it out. I've never even heard that expression in real life, so can't see using that one. Let's see. Don't quote me on this. That's a good one. DQMOT. I'm going to use that one a lot next time I'm talking to somebody. How about Imeneroho? In my never even remotely humble opinion, I am N-E-R-H-O. So next time we're talking to someone, go for that. Now let me flip page 5 even more. I know, isn't it great? Aren't you having a great time listening to me talk about nothing important at 1:14 in the morning? Yeah, no life. So here we have MTFBWU. Now, if you like Star Wars, I like Star Wars, don't get me wrong. Maybe you'll know this one, but I'm not sure I'd ever make an acronym out of it. May the Force be with you. That's just great. We have OWTTE, OWTTE, or words to that effect. I don't see why you don't just take the time to, spell these if you're going to be that, politically correct when you talk. SFETE, smiling from ear to ear. Okay. And then last. Now, if you don't have the guts to actually ask someone out in person, and you don't have the guts to actually type it out in an IM, if you're going to go that low to actually use an IM when you're asking somebody out, go ahead and put this in. WYGOWM. Will you go out with me? Yeah, talk about pathetic. And hopefully he or she says no, because if you are that much of a loser to have to ask someone to go out with you, first off, in an instant messaging program. Now, don't get mad if you did this. I'm sorry, and if it worked out, I'm happy for you. But if you have to use an acronym for it, that's just pathetic. Anyways, that's all for today. I'm tired. It's late. I should probably go to bed, even though I'm not going to. I'm just going to stay up late watching Cops, which is, by the way, super entertaining. Anyways, I'm sure you all hated this. I'm sorry that you just wasted, 5 minutes listening to me talk about nothing. But, hey, constructive criticism is great, and let's not keep it too mean. I mean, yeah, I'm expecting a mean comment here and there. But if you actually want me to talk about something, or care at all, constructive criticism would be excellent. Alright, guys? I will see you all on the flip-flop.